Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another episode of Sports Rewind Digital. I am solo today as we go through this week in sport. The MLB has come to the pointy end, and it kicks off the World Series tomorrow between the LA Dodgers and the New York Yankees. Who you got? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's break this down. The LA Dodgers take on the New York Yankees. The Dodgers come through. They beat the Mets in the NLCS 4-2. It was a pretty epic series. The Dodgers bats just looked unstoppable. So we'll see what happens coming in when they take on New York Yankees. The Yankees won 4-1 over the Guardians, and that was another whitewash of a series. Both teams looking really strong heading into the World Series. I'm going to predict the Dodgers win it in 5 games. 4-1 is my prediction. Let me know who you think is going to win. Game times for our World Series games. So game 1, New York Yankees at the Dodgers. Game 1 will be Saturday Aussie time at just after 11 a.m. Game 2 Sunday. No games Monday. Tuesday Aussie time will be the first game in New York City. There will be 3 games there. So the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday Aussie time. And then Saturday, November 2 will be game 6. And game 7 will be the Sunday if needed. I don't think it's going to go to 7. I really hope I'm wrong and it does go to 7 games, because that would be an epic way to finish off the year with a 7-game series. I know the Dodgers and the Yankees have been dominant all year, so it is a pretty classic matchup here. All right, game 1, probable matchup is Cole versus Flaherty. I know the Dodgers have come out and said Flaherty is starting, so we'll see if Cole starts with them, but that will be a great matchup. Game 2, probable starters, Rodon versus Yamamoto. Another great matchup there. Rodon has been injured. Come out in the media today and said he will happily sit out the whole of next year with an elbow injury if it's to get him a World Series ring this year. So let's see how far he goes in the game, and that's probably our game 2 matchup. Was a little bit of talk earlier on about Shohei Ohtani possibly coming in to pitch in the World Series. That's a no. We didn't think it would happen. Dave Roberts come out and confirmed that Ohtani is definitely not going to be a pitcher in this year's World Series. He's absolutely slammed it with the bat. So he's been a massive part of the Dodgers this year, and why wreck his chances of throwing and hitting next year. Let's move over to the NFL now. All right, week 7, which was last week's games. I know week 8's just started. It's 14-all at the moment in that game. Week 7, the Broncos beat the Saints 33-10. The Jags beat the Patriots. The Patriots are absolutely horrible this year. 32-16. The Seahawks 34 over the Falcons 14. Excuse me. The Bills smashed the Titans 34-10. The Bills are 5-2. The Bengals beat the Browns 21-14. Packers 24 over the Texans 22. Both of those teams are 5-2, so they're both making a run at this year's playoff series. The Colts beat the struggling Dolphins 16-10. 31-29. The Lions beat the Vikings. Both of these teams are 5-1 and are looking strong. The Eagles 28 over the Giants 3. The Rams 20 over the Raiders 15. The Commanders, Davo, you'd be proud of this team, 40-7 over the Panthers. The Commanders are 5-2, a little bit surprising for a lot of the NFL fans. It's great to see them coming back this year. The Chiefs 6-0, 28 over the 49ers 18. The Steelers 37 over the Jets 15. The Ravens 41 over the Buccaneers 31. The Ravens are 5-2. Randall, you'll be happy with that. Cardinals 17-15 over the Chargers, and the Bears and the Cowboys had a bye. Lucky for the Cowboys because they've been putrid so far this year. In this week's Week 8, the Vikings and the Rams are playing right now. It's 14-all, just about at halftime. The Ravens take on the Browns. The Titans and the Lions. The Colts take on the Texans. The Packers take on the Jags. The Cardinals and the Dolphins. The Jets and the Patriots. That'll be a classic matchup of about a 3-all game, I reckon. Both teams are absolutely horrible this season. The Falcons and the Buccaneers. The Eagles and the Bengals. The Saints take on the Chargers. The Bills take on the Seahawks. That'll be another great game to watch. The Bears and the Commanders. Another great one there, 5-2 and 4-2. So good one to watch there. The Broncos take on the Panthers. The Chiefs take on the Raiders. The Cowboys and the 49ers, both teams looking equally as ordinary as each other, take on each other Monday, 11:20 our time. And the Steelers take on the Giants. And that rounds out Week 8. Sharesies have jumped on and supported the show for this month. If you want to get $5 in free shares, please go over to the Sharesies link that I'm providing in the show notes and in the comments. And you too can get $5 worth of free shares. Sharesies, the app, making it easy for everyday Aussies to invest. The NBL is in full swing here in Australia, as well as the NBA just kicked off this week. But let's take a look at the NBL ladder. Illawarra Hawks on top. They've had 7 games, 5 wins, 2 losses, as well as the Sydney Kings. They're 5-2. Melbourne, New Zealand, Adelaide, and Cairns wrap out that top 6. Now, last year's winners, Tasmania Jack Jumpers, are right down the bottom there. They're 2-5 so far this season. I really hope they can come back and protect their last year's premiership. I'd love to see them make it back-to-back final series, but right now that doesn't look like it's going to happen. I know big home game for Sydney this weekend. They did offer $100 gold tickets, family tickets. So if you are interested in going to the basketball, go and check that out. It will be a fun weekend of basketball. All right, we did mention the NBA. It is in full swing, just started. Big one come out. LeBron James and his son shared their first NBA game together. Massive achievement for both of those. Let's have a quick look here. Boston Celtics are 2-0. Orlando Magic, Pacers, Cleveland Cavs, Milwaukee Bucks, and Atlanta Hawks. Charlotte Hornets all with 1 win. And we go right through that Eastern Conference, right down there on the Western Conference. Phoenix Suns, Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, Lakers, Pels, all have had 1 win very early on in the season. If you do like a bit of NBA action, go and check it out. The NHL is also in full swing. Let's have a quick look here at the standings of the 24-25 season. Florida have played 9 games and they've had a 5-3 win-loss ratio. Tampa Bay, Ottawa, Toronto, Leafs, Maple Leafs, Boston, Buffalo, Detroit, Montreal in the Metropolitan League. The Rangers are on top there. New Jersey Devils, Washington, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Columbus, Islanders, and Philadelphia Flyers right down the bottom. The Western Conference. Winnipeg Jets at the top of the table. Minnesota, Dallas, Utah, St. Louis, Colorado. In Pacific League, Calgary, Vegas, Vancouver, LA, Seattle, Anaheim, Edmonton, San Jose. If you are following along in the hockey, let me know in your comments who your team is. All right, for the cricket fans, we've got plenty of cricket coming up. Warner saying he's good to go back in the Test team if they want him. Personally, I hope he stays retired. Absolutely love watching Dave Warner play cricket, but he's ready for the paddock. The Border Gavaskar Trophy coming up shortly kicks off on the 22nd of November, taking on India. The Women's Ashes starts next year, 30th of January. The Weber WBBL kicks off 27th of October, so only a couple of days away, and that'll be a good one. Sheffield Shield has already started, been a couple of good games there. And the KFC 2020 domestic, 15th of December, that kicks off, and that's always a good series to watch. Plenty of local cricket on as well. Thanks for joining us in another week of sport. We'll be back next week with another show. Some guests lined up for the next couple of weeks, and the boys will be back together within the next couple of weeks to share another episode of the Sports Rewind podcast. Have a great week.